Hi, hello. So let's watch another video together. This one is about a pilot who just moved on from a high B to C, and he took Sigma 10, and Sigma 10 is already a pretty energetic C, so I will say it's like a mid C, so to say. There are easier C wings to do the transition, so to say. He has no SIV experience, even though he's been flying for 15 years, and he does and flying without SIV on the wing. If you get a perturbation, you may end up very easily breaking a lot of stuff, which is actually what happened to him. He is extremely lucky to have only a few stuff broken. So let's have a look.
Oh God!
Yeah, so bad. Okay, and now let's see what I see here. So basically, he wrote that this is a day where there was like a wind 20 to 35 kilometers per hour, and it should be getting stronger. So he was actually thinking about going to land. And this is in Algodonales, so there is like huge open space in front of him. So there is no reason to have actually there are no obstacles. So no reason to expect turbulences. But we already seen another video on this channel actually where I discuss a very similar case. It's a huge open space in front and gusty wind, and the pilot without proper active training, proper active piloting actually gets a collapse. So this is actually the same scenario like here. So even if you have a laminar wind, you would say, because there is nothing, still you may get a collapse. And he's flying Sigma 10. I had the pleasure of, or unpleasure, depending on where you are, flying Sigma 10. This is a wing that has a very high internal pressure, which means that it's pretty difficult to collapse the wing, but when it collapses, it tends to reopen very dramatically, like very quickly. This is what we're gonna see here. I mean, there are people who fly Sigma 10 for a long time and they had never had collapse, and I believe this is the reason why. So now you can see that you can hear actually there's pretty lot of wind. Now going up, and you've seen actually this movement. So this is high aspect wing, and starting with C's, or you may also have a high aspect high B wing, but anyway, once you have high aspect, you actually have left wing and right wing, so you have two separate wings to control independently, basically, due to the high aspect ratio. So what happened is that on the left side there wasn't much shooting forward, but on the right side there was this shooting forward. You could see actually this is turning to the left, that he didn't stop. And this, I mean, that doesn't mean that maybe the wing just got a little bit to the front and got a wind a little bit from above because of that. The other aspect is once you move forward, the effective vector of speed is going more from the top, because your your wing, there is like this sync rate, which is always so wing is going from below, and then there is another vector of speed coming from the front. So if you have more from the front, it means the angle of attack is decreasing. Actually, I should learn how to do like pictures, and maybe if there are enough subscribers in this channel, I will evolve a little bit and do a proper explanation for this to properly demonstrate it. But anyway, so he's getting a collapse, and as I mentioned, so this collapse is a bit strange, but yeah, but this wing is different than all the other wings. I mean, I flown at least because of this very high internal pressure. Actually, when it flies, it's really perfect. I loved, but when it collapses, then you have very dynamic reactions. And actually, here the reaction of the wing is helping him. I mean, it turned quite abruptly to the right because this is a C wing, so it's a and Sigma is 10 is very efficient also, so it doesn't lose a lot of energy. So basically, the wing is turning abruptly. You are flying C wing, and this is like like higher C wing, so to say. So this is, you have to be able to react and stop this turn. He does not react. You see how low he is in the, hanging actually, because he lost the right wing, so he's only hanging on the. I cannot cross zoom here, unfortunately, but you probably see it. That he's hanging only on the left side, and this is so if someone tells you do weight shift to the open side, this doesn't work in a collapse like this, because there is no weight shift. You have just only one wing half left. So anyway, so now he's turning, but the wing, so turning, and at the same time it's like shooting forward. I mean, the left side is turning going forward, and the right side is opening at this moment, and it opens very quickly because this is Sigma 10, very high internal pressure, so it opens very quickly. And here, if you would just I mean, the wing is in front already a little bit too far, so he would just give like a symmetric impulse of brake, short, and then as soon as the wing stops moving forward and he falls a little bit down under, then he would release the brake. Just give a very short moment, he would fly. If he would have this muscle memory, SIV trained reflexes. But this is not what we unfortunately see here. This is due to the lack of the SIV training. So basically now the wing is still moving forward, so it's not enough brake, and once it's too far forward, but he's also, someone in the comments on Facebook noted that he's also twisting. I haven't focused on that so much, but now so now the wing shoot forward. Now he's braking, but he's braking too strongly, especially the right side. I mean, both of them. The right you already see is deformed, and the left side is moving behind, which basically means that yeah, he stalled the wing now at this very moment. So the wing is flying backwards. Right side not so much because he's turning a little bit. So yeah, this there is a lot of chaotic braking, I would say, happening at this moment, because before the right side was heavy braking, now the left side is more stalled. Yeah, so the wing is stalled. Now he moves the hands up, or at least yeah, both of them, and the wing comes out of stall. He's a little bit twisted maybe, so hard to say if he had the authority to do it if he was twisted, and I'm not sure how many turns he was twisted, because I haven't. We will see another view of this twisting. But anyway, now focusing just on the, so leaving this uncontrolled stall, without braking, the wing is gonna shoot forward. I mean, this is a really dynamic, efficient C wing. Even though it's a freeliner, but it's a really nice wing to fly if it flies. So without braking, an efficient wing, dynamic wing like this is gonna shoot far. So, and if you don't brake it, and this is a little bit like asymmetric, this shooting forward, because different brakes. I mean, he applied a little bit brakes, but after the stall like this, you should have like hands under your S actually, and here, due to this funny position, it may be not exactly under your S, maybe somewhere else, because it has to be along the risers and in the direction of the risers, because if your risers are in front of you, then you should pull behind the brake. If they are up, then you should pull under the S anyway. It would need a lot of braking and keeping the brakes until he falls down. But this is very dynamic, and also the wing shooting forward will pull him towards him. So it's also very impressive because you're being really thrown with a lot of acceleration now in the sky. So you have to be kind of like used to this in order to be able to react properly, because otherwise you're just gonna freak out. And yeah, so not enough brake. Oh God. And the wing is in front of him collapsing. So this is once you let the wing fly so far. Yeah, so, and once you get collapse, basically you lose tension in the lines. I mean collapse in the sense losing tension in the lines in this case. And you risk having a cravat every time. And this is actually what happened here. So now he's actually facing opposite direction a little bit. The wing is there with the cravat. And he's pretty close because he was doing dynamics, so he's pretty close to the ground. And yeah. The trick is that he haven't, so there's a lot of things happening going on already, and he has no SIV experience. So I believe that in my head, if I had no SIV, but I would understand the risks, and being so close to the ground, after this first stalling the wing, I would go directly to the reserve parachute, because I see I'm behind the game, and yeah, and now it's time to save my life, so to say. But because if you don't do this, then yeah, then now you are in this situation where the wing turned, now it's flying towards the ground. You have the cravat, and actually the tricky thing is that with this cravat it doesn't turn. So, and sometimes the cravats are, I mean the cravats, sometimes they generate a lot of drag, and sometimes, unfortunately in this case, they don't generate a lot of drag, and this is actually, you see this turning is pretty slow, so he still enters into the ground. And this is actually the problems here are basically he has no SIV skill, he loses control over his wing, and he doesn't go for a rescue, and he's close to the ground, and he doesn't go for the rescue parachute as the first reaction, so to speak, so to say. This is the mistake I see here, the principal mistake. And the other, of course, is flying like a hot C wing, like a Sigma 10 without SIV is just fucking crazy. Sorry, but it is. And there are many. I know that there are many people doing this, and yeah, and he's been flying for 15 years, so he thought that he's seen a lot. But stalling, I'm not sure, probably that was the first time he's seen a wing stall like this. So this is actually the problem here, and this is the reason why, in my opinion, you should do SIV. And I mean SIV really let you not just be there and for 2 days, but really master the basic SIV maneuvers before going to high B. This is my personal opinion, because high B you already have higher aspect ratio, and you already have like the risk of cravats that are staying there, collapses, more dynamic reactions of the wing. So you have to be able to keep the wing flying straight. You have to be able to, I mean, stalling high B is of course easier than low B. C is much easier to stall than, I mean, probably depending on the wing, but from my experience with the wings I flew, C is another story. It's much easier to stall than a high B, but still, the high B is already more energetic, and you may get a cravat already. Like yeah, it's very probable that you get one. So you should be trained to keep the direction, and at least this, so that he had, like, after this collapse, that he would have the proper reaction with the brake and just fly away from just fly straight away. That would be actually, that would probably have solved this problem. But even this very basic reaction is unfortunately not here. Yeah, so and now let's have a look on the twist, because I was wondering, because someone mentioned this in the comment. actually, like with this speed it's hard to say. Yeah, the trick is that Sigma 10 is very dynamic. Movements like this, openings and advancing, shooting forward, it's a high internal pressure, very efficient wing, so it's easy to get twisted in this type of wing. But yeah, so it's a bit too fast for me. I'm not able to say how twisted it is, so let's leave it like this. Yeah, and once again, the conclusions are, if you ever think about going to high B, do SIV. If you SIV, I mean, learn to keep the wings flying straight whatever happens, and then of course, but this, because this is a very basic thing. And then spirals, it's a very basic thing. I mean, that's so easy actually, but something that or spin entry, those are things that you may probably do like in the first week of SIV. Like an average person would be able to, hopefully, to do this, depending of course on the progress and stuff. But yeah, and the trick is with this type of wing is that if you get a huge cravat like this on the C wing like this, yeah, then you will have to also manage stalls. I'm not saying this is overreaction stall, but stalls just because you will not be able to fly straight. Of course, you may just say, okay, I'm gonna show the parachute. This is perfectly fine. But then, of course, you don't fly places where you cannot fly parachute or show parachute, so you don't fly close to the ground, and you don't fly like crazy mountains where dropping a parachute, like throwing a rescue, is not an option. And then you don't need stalls, but you have to be able to fly straight whatever happens with the wing. I mean, where you want the wing to fly, whatever happens to your wing, and this is missing here. And I strongly suggest you do it before moving to high B. And if you go for a hot C like this without SIV, this is, in my opinion, just crazy. It's nuts, because whatever happens, yeah, it's just what happened to him. The reaction is gonna be something like this, because this is a very dynamic wing, so you have to really know what you're doing. And it's easy to stall because it's a C also. So let me know. I mean, it turned out to be a long video. Let's see who's gonna make it to the end. Actually, I'm pretty glad that there are many people watching those videos till the end, even though they tend to be long. Thank you very much, and once you watch it, maybe you can share what you think, what could be improved, if I did any mistakes here in my understanding of the situation. And yeah, and so comment, like, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. So have a nice evening, and see you watching another video soon.